No one is coming to save you. Most times when we hear this, it sounds like a curse. It sounds like you're somebody's telling us it no go better for you. It sounds so offensive whenever we hear something like this, but it is basically the truth. Hello guys, my name is Ben Alpha and welcome back to Push Chronicles with Ben Alpha this Monday. And yeah, today we have a great amazing topic and we are going to dive right into it. So let's go. No one is coming to save you. Before you go here, I said something about, whenever we hear this, we see it and it sounds so offensive to us whenever you hear nobody is coming to save you. But yeah, this is basically the truth that we fail to realize in our life. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about 2021 and how 2021 shaped me and how it is related to no one is coming to save you. 2021 is an amazing year in my life, and same time it was the year that took my dad from me, who I love so much and I care for in a lot of ways. 2021, it was the year I also almost ended my life. I almost committed suicide. I know it might sound somehow because many of you have tried it one way or another, but you won't have the mind to come out and say it. But yeah, 2021, I almost lost my life. Not lost, I almost took my own life by myself because of why I was depressed. I couldn't hold it anymore. I was down. I was. I don't have the words to explain it. But then it was the year that was a lot for me in a lot of ways, and I just didn't know what to do. At some point, I was so down because I lost my dad, because I didn't know how to take it, because I was thinking, how would I continue with life, all those kind of questions that you ask yourself and etc. But then at some point, it got to me to the extent that at some time I would think maybe to follow from up, jump down, use my head, enter for ground, make my head enter for my belly, make I just spy like that, like let me just go. So I was having all these thoughts. At some point I tried few, but I stopped on the way, because God loves me now. God does not want me to go. And yeah, imagine if I had gone. That means all these goodies now that I've gotten, all the good things that I've gotten in my life now, I would have lost it. And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you what our downtimes makes us to do or takes from us. Whenever we have a downtime, we tend to forget about the good things or the good times that we have had. Let's say I'm in a relationship and I've had a good time. Let's say I'm in a 2 years or 1 year relationship and I've had a good time for 6 months, and the relationship has been okay. We have been doing well, and then something happens and my partner slips up. I'm not talking about the heavy slips up. Let's say we just had a misunderstanding, and for that 1 second, I would just like forget about the 6 months that she has been perfect and etc. And then I will fight. I will fight. I go on tear everywhere. I need to see. But then, if something happens and that relationship maybe eventually ends at that point, I know some stuff are good enough to end the relationship at the point. But let me say, if that misunderstanding is not really like a whole of a big deal, and then it now happens and you just end the relationship just like that, you realize that at some point you be like, Jesus, 6 months. I had a good time. Oh, it's just 6 months. I need to see, like, it was amazing. Just this one misunderstanding, and I just called everything off. Boom, alala, everything don't go. So yeah, and in those times that we have a bad times, that our life tends to turn upside down, we forget to remember that there are some times that when we had it okay, maybe we couldn't handle it very well, but we had it okay at those times, so we tend to forget it. So 2021 was a time like that in my life. I'm kind of stuttering. saying this thing because trying to remember it, it's somehow. Eesh, somehow I don't remember it. I don't talk about it. I don't think I've ever told anyone, but if I've told anyone, it might be people that are really close to me because my family didn't even know that I tried to commit suicide in 2021. Because then, I was still vibrant in church. I was still doing everything I was doing. I was still very active. Nobody really saw that, okay, this guy was going through this stuff because I'm this kind of person that whenever I'm going through something, before you notice on around like it hard, it is very difficult for you to notice. But then, I was trying to form that strong bond. I was trying to be strong. I was trying to be okay, but deep down I was dying inside. I know how many times I attempted to kill myself, but I didn't. I almost did, but I didn't. God saved me. God saved me. God really saved me. I owe God. I owe God that. I owe God that. So yeah, what did 2021 do to me? What did 2021 change inside of me? 2021 made me mentally strong. 2021 reminded me that it is me against the world. Nobody is coming to save me. Going back to what I said in the beginning, no one is coming to save me. It is you, or you. Even though my dad was still alive, it will still be me, or me. Nobody is coming to save me. My girlfriend, wife, nobody is coming to save me. Nobody is coming to save me. My brother, uncles, they are not coming to save me. It is me, or me. Either I stand or I fall. If I fail, I have myself to blame. So at that point, when I started knowing all of this, I started buckling up. I started, even in that depression, I was using that depression and putting it to work. I was using that depression and, holding myself up, telling myself, no, I don't need to go down there. I got closer to God, yeah. I got closer to God. God helped me. I was going to church. I was going for weekly activities. Deep down, I was still dying inside. I was still, failing one way or another. But then, at some point, I didn't let it continue. I owned up to it. I owned up to myself that nobody was coming to save me, no matter how much I want to die in that depression. And it's the same thing I'm telling you guys. It's the same thing I'm trying to bring to you guys now. Nobody's coming to save you. If you stay down for yourself. You have yourself to blame. Your happiness, you won't want somebody like it does not come from a relationship or from your man or from anybody. So it is left for you to come up and tell yourself, nah, I'm not staying down anymore. I know this is my downtime, but yeah, it is up to me to get myself up. And I know it might not come easy. It might take time. Yeah, the time that it takes, it's okay. It's okay for you to take time, but then don't stay down. Don't you dare stay down. What can you do at this point when you are having your downtime? When you are feeling depressed? When you can't stand up? When you are having a time like my 2021? Now, I'm going to use what I did at that point. At that point, I went close to God. I went close to God. I went close to God. That was the first thing that I did. I didn't really talk to people because I don't know how to talk to people about what I'm going through, but I went close to God. I allowed myself to feel. Even though I wasn't talking to anybody, I allowed myself to feel. I allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to feel the pain. I would go to church then, my on weekly activities, and I would be inside. I would be cleaning the office of the bishop, and I would be crying. Like I would just lie down, I would just lie down there on the floor, and I'll be crying. It will be all tears until I'm done. I know it might sound somehow, but yeah, you guys will understand. Will really understand. Only few will understand. So I went close to God. What can you do? You can also go close to God. Secondly, I started writing down what I was feeling. I allowed myself to feel, I allowed myself to cry, and I started writing it down. And at some point where I could actually hold myself up, I now spoke to people. I spoke to some people who can actually help me. So yeah, you can actually talk to some people. I couldn't, but you can. At that point, you can. When you see that you can't do what I did, you can actually talk to some people. You can actually talk to people that you know that spiritually they are okay in the head, and let's say, or otherwise, some people seek for professional support. They go see a therapist. But where you want to see a therapist for Nigeria? How about if your therapist go tire for you? If your therapist go tire for you, I swear. Well, But you get the place where they say therapist for Nigeria. I'm not sure. I went close to God, and then I learned to live in the moment. I learned to live for now. I told myself, man, every day that you have to make the best out of it in whatever that you're doing. So I started taking my days seriously. Whenever I tend to relax, I relax because I want to. But every day that I wake up, I want to make the best out of that day. I started living consciously that way. I started living consciously that way. I started taking responsibility of my own self. Started taking responsibility of my own mistakes and my own failures. I don't live in regrets. Whenever I make mistakes, I don't allow it. I don't allow the regrets to stick. I move forward. I give myself opportunities to change. I created boundaries, and I started doing a lot of stuff. When I fail at them, I continue. When I fail, I continue, because man, you will fail. You won't get it wrong. So when I fail, I continue. When I fail, I continue. And at some point, I started getting stronger in some ways. I am still getting stronger in some ways. I am still building everything. So that is my take, and that is what I have for you today. So please, you don't have to want to live in forever. You can start living in the moments now and take responsibility of all your days. You don't have to keep living in 2021, because everything that I go through now, I call it 2021. So yeah, you can call it that with me, or you can call it yours. Yours might be 2025.